Who's number one on your board?
Darryn Peterson. He's been number one on my board the entire year, and I know he didn't have the year that people were hoping that they thought he would. But I just, I've been watching him since he was 15, 16 years old in many different settings. Just, the FIBA under 16 Americas, the USA basketball camps, with his high school team, with a prolific prep, and you know, I just think he's the best prospect in the draft. He's 6'6". He's a freak athlete, huge wingspan, great body. I think he's a point guard. I saw a lot of point guard ability in high school. I know that people didn't see that as much at Kansas. They started it with like that, and then they went away from him. They were playing him more on the wing, and I don't know that that's really his game. I mean, obviously, he still had huge games. He still averaged 20 points a game, making insane shots. And I mean, there were some real highs in this season, but I think if you go back to the film and especially those games he played against AJ Dybantsa, I just don't think it's close from a talent perspective. I think AJ Dybantsa is really good. I think he's going to be an all-star, but I have some questions about, how much of a winning player is he, how many dribbles he needs, the feel, the shooting, the bully ball. I think he's going to be good. I just wonder, is he going to be great? And Darren Peterson has shown me like incredible flashes of talent that really don't come around very often. So I think you have to take him number one, and then I guess we'll get into two and all that. But I'm going Boozer too after Peterson.
Okay, well, let's hit on Peterson a little bit here. So to me, you talked about this, him playing, that he could be a point guard. The talk is that he wants to be a point guard. He's compared himself to Shea, and to me, to be that, like, he has to be a point guard to be worth taking number one. I personally was not quite sure that I saw it. I did watch some of the high school tape too. I wasn't following him nearly as much. Obviously, I had not really seen much of him until I began my process, which is normally the case for me. But make the case that he is a point guard to me, because that's the big thing. Like, if he's this level of shooter and then he also can play point guard and really break down the defense from the top as well, then I do see him as like, yeah, he's right there at number one.
I just think the way that he handles the ball, the way that he can change speeds, he's so big, he's so strong, he's so powerful. Like when he had that extra gear that he had in high school that we did not see as much of at Kansas, he got anywhere he wanted on the floor, and he can use both hands. He could to pass and to drive and to finish, and he can reject. I mean, he can do a lot of different things in pick and roll. And he averaged 8 assists a game or whatever. So it's just high school, but it was a high level of competition that he played against in high school, including against AJ Dybantsa. So he's not, okay, he's an A to B passer. He's a see what's in front of you, make the obvious. But like when you can blow by, when you can get those paint touches, when you can make the defense collapse, you don't need to be like a brilliant playmaker, especially when you're 6'6" and you're that strong, you're that explosive. And I do think that part of his game is going to continue to evolve. He's 19 years old. I mean, guys get better with that, with their playmaking, and he made a huge jump last year. And I was expecting him to make I'm shocked, honestly, that he averaged, 1.6 assists per game, relative to like what we saw last year at prolific prep. And so, I mean, I do think he's going to end up being a point guard. He'll be a guy that obviously like plays on the ball and has the ball in his hand a lot. I mean, there's not really like a pure point guard anymore in the NBA, but I think he's going to be a primary ball handler and a major engine, like a major shot creator for whatever team that he's on next year and moving forward.
Yeah, I think, I mean, and it's always fun to disagree with you. I think even going back to before we were doing this pod, we've had some fun disagreements over the years. So this is why I actually do not have Darren Peterson number one. And I do see the potential maybe for some of the things that you're talking about, but I don't think he has that much wiggle personally as a lateral mover. I think he's good in a straight line, but change of direction, like getting wide, breaking guys' ankles, like I didn't see that necessarily. I see a lot of pretty contested shots off the dribble, and he can make those. I mean, he's a really good shooter, right? I mean, that's one of the other ways that he could hit, right? Is if he just becomes one of the best shooters in the NBA. Like that which I think is on the table too. So I'm definitely not low on him at all. But I think you talked about him being like really powerful and, you know, having this great body. I'm like, you know, he's a little thin as shoulder. Like haven't seen him make that many power moves. I thought, you know, defensively he has this playmaking, but I thought he's like someone who might need to be protected in one-on-one matchups defensively. That's another reason I was a little bit lower on him. But I will say many people that I really respect, including you, don't seem to feel that way about him. But like, I'm like, no, this guy's not Anthony Edwards. I mean, if you are, but like, you know, in terms of just being like a strong guy. And then, so those are kind of the two things of just like being able to hold up individually, defensively. Like I think he's a 1-2 defender. I don't think he could switch on to threes. So that makes it a little bit more difficult. And then I'm just not sure that like, if you put him in an ISO, that he's going to get to something other than like a difficult jumper. So those are my concerns about him as a really high level number one pick.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, if your Kansas film is primarily what you're studying, then it's hard to disagree with that. I just saw a lot more juice, you know, like in previous settings. I saw some real fluidity with the ball. I saw, you know, the ability to just change speeds really powerfully and get those paint touches. And also I saw like a real level of patience developing in pick and roll, you know, going right, going left, you're showing some pace, using the in and outs. And, you know, so that was what really like caught my eye last year, like going to watch him and watching, I mean, in person and also watching the film. You know, and then the shot making, you know, like on top of that is just really, really high level. So to be able to combine all that and, you know, to be 6'6" in shoes, 6'10" wingspan, 200 pounds, you know, at 19 with that level of athleticism, that's a rare physical profile.